Okay, so we're just going to be doing our final surface area and volume concept check here. So what I want you to do is I just want you to fast forward in the video, just kind of skip ahead every now and then to the questions that you did not get correct. You'll know your questions are correct if they have just a big check mark beside them. If you made like one really simple mistake, I probably pointed it out, but otherwise, just take a look and then I want you to write in the questions and the process and the answer in the questions that you did not get correct. Okay, that's how we learn. We look at our mistakes and then we fix them. So for the first thing here, I want to find the surface area of a rectangular prism here, right? And remember, surface area means I'm measuring the area of all the six sides here. There's six sides. There's a front, there's a back, there's a top, there's a bottom, and there's the right side. I'm going to call that side one. And then there's the left side. I'm going to call that side two. So I know, remember, whenever you have something, just take the whole thing and just make yourself a nice, easy, simple formula to start with. So I know that the surface area of my prism is going to just be the front plus the back plus the top plus the bottom plus side one plus side two. That's what it is. Okay, that's how you find it. So the surface area of my front and back, because these are going to be the same, it's just going to be surface area of my front and back is going to be it's 6.3 inches times 5 inches, right? So length times width, I'm measuring area, just two things. So that is 6.3 inches times 5 inches. If I multiply that out, I should end up getting, 31.5 inches squared, right? That is the area of just this one side, but I'm doing the front and the back. So I need to times this by 2, which is then going to give me 63 inches squared. Okay, cool. I'm going to underline that. That's an important line. Keep organized. That was the main issue a lot of you guys had, was you just didn't fully keep organized here. So now what I want to do is I just want to do the top and bottom. Same thing. It's a rectangle, so it's length times width. Okay, so I know the length of my top in this case is going to be 5 inches. And I know the width of it is going to be 12.2 inches. If I multiply that out, I'm going to end up with 61 inches. But I'm not done, right? Because I'm doing the top and the bottom. So 61 inches squared. So 61 inches squared times 2, because there's 2 of them, equals 122 inches squared. Again, guys, keep organized. A lot of people tried to find the volume of this. You're finding the surface area. Read the question really, really carefully. That's an important number. I'm going to highlight that or underline that. Okay, now I just need to do side 1, side 2, right? So side 1 and side 2. So that is just going to be same thing. It's a rectangle, right? So length times width. So the length of this line here is 12.2, right? 12.2 inches. And then I'm timesing it by the height of that one, the width of it, which is going to be 6.3 inches. So if I multiply that out, so 12.2 times 6.3, I end up getting 76.86 excuse me, inches squared. But remember, I need to double that because I'm doing the side 1 and side 2. And then if I double that, I'm going to end up with my final answer, which is 153.72 inches squared. Okay, but remember, I'm not done. I'm adding all these fingers. I have the front and the back done. I have the top and the bottom done. I have side 1, side 2 done. So I add up all 3 of those things I've underlined there, and that's going to give me my final answer. So 153.72 plus 63 plus 122. My total answer here. So the surface area. The surface area of my prism is equal to 338.72 inches squared. A couple of you doubled this for some reason. Nope, you found all 6 sides. You found the area of all 6 sides. You're done. That's it. That's all you need to do. Find the area of all 6 sides, add them together. Okay, so let's move on to question number 2 here. So I just want to find the volume of it. The volume of it is just how much stuff I can fit inside of that, right? So I look at my formula sheet, I see that the volume of my 3D prism here is going to be it's the area of the base. In this case, it's a rectangular base, right? So it's going to be length times width. And then I times that by my height. So the length and the width, remember, that's the base, right? You need to get those numbers right. The base of this thing is, it's the lines I'm going to draw in red up here, right? It's this, and it's this. That's the base. That's the base right there. You have a little base here. That's the bottom. So the area of that shape, length times width, that is the 5 inches times the 12.2 inches, right? Then I times it by my height, which is 6.3 inches. So that's all I need to do. And then I times all those together. 5 times 12.2 times 6.3. All of a sudden, I end up with 384. Volume equals 384.3 inches squared. Oh, it's cubed, right? This is cubed. Okay, so let's keep on going. So that's my final answer. I'm going to circle that. Okay. All right. So question 3, find the volume of a sphere with a radius of 5.2 centimeters. So this is my formula here, right? It's the volume is equal to 4 thirds times pi times radius cubed. There's 3 of them there. So that's just, I'm putting 3 there. That means 4 over 3. That's 4 divided by 3. So times, I'll write pi there in a second, times radius cubed, which is 3 radiuses, right? I know my radius here is 5.2 centimeters, so I'm going to write that in. So times 5.2 centimeters times 5.2 centimeters times 5.2 centimeters. Sorry, V equals, because it's the volume. So times pi. Okay, so now if I put that all in my calculator, so remember, use your fraction button to properly establish 4 over 3. Use the buttons properly. Stop being lazy. Get it done properly. It's going to make sure you don't make mistakes. If I times all of this in my calculator, so 4 over 3 times pi times 5.2 times 5.2 times 5.2 is going to give me my volume of my sphere. In this case, this is 588.98 centimeters cubed, right? You're measuring volume, it's cubed. That's my final answer. I'm going to make sure I note that. We're done. So now I want to find the surface area of a pipe with a radius of 6 centimeters and a length of 25.4 centimeters. So you can draw this. This is a cylinder, right? It's a pipe. You can draw a cylinder like this if you want. You can go the other way around, whatever works for you. There's a bunch of drawings you can do. Just make sure you're properly labeling it. So I have a radius of 6 centimeters. And I have a length. In this case, it is the height, technically. But I have a length here of 25.4 centimeters. Don't get so hung up on like, well, it says length, it's not height. Like, you can rotate the picture, all of a sudden you have it. So remember, when you are doing the surface area of a cylinder, it's the surface area of a pipe, which is a cylinder. You are doing circle plus rectangle, right? That's all you're doing. So let's find the area of our circle first. So the circle here, this is my formula, right? A equals pi r squared. My radius in this case is 6 centimeters. And I have 2 of them because it's squared. So it's pi times 6 centimeters times 6 centimeters. That's it. So bump that in your calculator. Pi times 6 times 6. You should end up with 113.1 centimeters. Okay, 113.1 centimeters. Okay, done. I've got my circles. I can just do 2 of these later, right? So I'm done all of that now. So now what I need to do is I need to do my rectangle. Now, this is where most people made a mistake. Remember, for the rectangle, look at what I'm doing in blue here. I have my length, which is this part here. I'm good here. This is 25.4. I don't have the width of it though. I need to have the width of this. Remember, a cylinder is just a rectangle that's kind of like rolled up, right? So that's the width of my rectangle is this thing of the circle. That is the circumference. And how do I find the circumference? C equals 2 times pi times r. So let's find that. So C equals 2 times pi times radius, which is 6 centimeters. So that you do 2 times 6 times pi, all of a sudden you get 37.8 Technically, this is 699. You can just put 70 there, though. And just centimeters, not squared, because it's a length. I now have the length of my circumference of my circle, which is the same thing as the width of my rectangle. Okay, so now I can properly figure out the area of my rectangle. So my rectangle now, so the area of my rectangle is equal to length times width, right? It's a rectangle. I now have I know my length, which is 25.4 centimeters. And then I have my width now, which is 37.70 or 0.7 centimeters. And that equals, so 25.4 times 37.7, 957.58. Okay, I now have the area of my rectangle and my circle. So now all I need to do is do two circles plus the rectangle, right? So 113.1 plus 113.1, there's two circles plus the area of my rectangle, 957.5. That is going to give me 1,188.2 centimeters squared. It's area. This is area. Sorry, squared. Squared. Okay. Perfect. So now what I want to do is I want to find the volume of the pipe. So the volume of a cylinder is the area of the base times the height, right? So the volume of my cylinder is equal to, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, make this a little bit bigger. So the volume is equal to the area of the base times the height, right? Times h. Now look at your drawing. What is the base of a cylinder? It's this little thing I'm drawing in green here, right? It's the circle. It's the lid. That's the base. You have a soup can. What do? You rest it on the bottom of the can, right? You rest it on that little circle. That's what you do. So the area of my base, I've already established that. It's 113.1 centimeters squared. It's just the area of my circle here, right? So the area of my base, which is 113.1 centimeters squared, times height, which is now 25.4 centimeters. Well, how come it's height? You used it as length up here. I used it as length for my rectangle, right? But it's still height of the can. So 113.1 times 25.4. That's going to give you your answer. Remember, this is 113.1 centimeters squared. It's going to give you your answer. So if I multiply those out, I'm going to get 2,872.74 centimeters. It's volume, right? So it's cubed. That's it. A lot of you guys did length times width times height here, which doesn't make sense. That's for the volume of a prism. A cylinder is not a prism. A prism is basically like a rectangle or something like that, right? This is not one of them. Okay, so let's keep going. So now I need to find the volume of my pyramid. So that's the same thing. The third times the area of the base times the height. It's a rectangular pyramid. So the area of my base is just length times width, right? This is a rectangular pyramid. So I can use this. So V equals 1/3 times length times width times height. 18 centimeters times 15 centimeters times 25 centimeters, which is my height. That's it. I punch that into my calculator, use the fraction button. So 1/3 times 18 times 15 times 25. My volume here is 2,250 centimeters cubed. Okay, for this 18 and 15 centimeters, it doesn't matter if you used 15 here and 18 here. All that matters is that you have the numbers from the base of your shape. It does not matter the order there. Okay, so now I want to find the surface area of it. Now, how you find the surface area is just find the area of all the shapes and add them up, right? So it's the bottom plus the 4 triangular sides. I've actually made this impossible for you though, because I didn't give you the length of the face of the triangle. So we can ignore this question. It's not solvable at the moment because we do not have Pythagoras theorem taught yet, right? So I'm going to skip that one. Okay, so now I want to find the greatest common factor of 15 and 10. So remember, I can get 15 by, it's a factor. Find the factors of it. Find the factors. I can get 15 by doing 1 times 15 or 3 times 5. I can get 10 by doing 1 times 10 or 2 times 5. So what's all my common factors? Well, 1 and 5. Those are the only common factors, but I want the greatest one. The greatest common factor here that I've circled is just 5. Oops, not F, it's 5. Circle, my answer's done. Okay, lowest common multiple. Remember, all you do is take your number, list it. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, so on and so forth, right? List your 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, and so on and so forth. What are all my common multiples here? Well, there's 12. There's 24. That's it so far. But I want the lowest one. My lowest one here is 12 that I've circled. So my lowest common multiple is equal to 12. Okay, so make sure everything you have there is correct now. And then I want you to put that in your yellow book. I want you to submit that back to me, please. I hope that has helped. You'll get more chances for this again. The surface area is the thing that most of the class seems to need work on still, right? Volumes we seem to get. We just multiply the numbers together with the right formula. With surface area, we have to think a little bit about it. Always go back, make something like this for a complex question. Make a super simple, like this is what I do. I take my area of my circle, my area of my circle, my area of my rectangle, boom, I got it. I take my front and my back, plus my top and my bottom, plus my side 1 and side 2. Read the question, make a formula, then solve it. Okay, guys? That's the biggest thing. Surface area is the biggest thing we need to work on. We're officially done the unit. I'm going to recommend you guys do try and finish up the homework, though, in the textbook with it, just to make sure you're able to have those skills cemented. We're going to be moving on to our next topic, okay?